That was such a peaceful opening.
It was.
We're so relaxed right now.
I know.
All right. So we've already got a couple people tuning in on the live stream. So thanks, guys, for jumping in. And I know, so we'll get right into it for the people watching on the replays. There are obviously a lot of people working in different workspaces now than, say, a month or than before. And I think it's really, I oftentimes work from home because I'm editing videos and kind of coming up with ideas and writing things. And I find myself like laying on a couch with a laptop, like somehow above my head or something. And then like my shoulder, I'm like, why is my shoulder hurt? And it's like a crazy thing. And I think a lot of people are, used to, it was bad enough when people were in offices sitting in chairs. And now we're sitting on like in our bed with laptops. So I wanted to bring you on because you are doing some cool stuff with, fitness and yoga and overall kind of healthy lifestyle stuff. And not just because of recently, you've been doing it for a long time. So you've got some cool things to share. And we've done lots of videos and photos together and lots of random social media posts and cool things and it's all been in like the healthy lifestyle, like fitness model type stuff. So it's been really cool. So
I just bragged about you to a friend recently.
Oh.
Yes.
What did you say? You can just do it again so that I feel better.
I just said how professional you are and how like beautiful of a photographer you are. I mean, your stuff is so beautiful.
Oh,
I mean,
thank you.
Everyone I think knows this who are on your live, but the way you capture light and movement is beautiful.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was cool. It's like interesting how like those there's been a few throughout while I was like doing more photography stuff with like clients and brands and models and stuff in LA. Mm-hmm. There's been kind of the same thing. Like it's kind of like you get attracted to certain people's looks and vibes and like how they do the things. And I remember like, cause I think I don't know how actually we started interacting. I think there's like on Instagram and Facebook group or something.
Yeah, with the Facebook group.
And then it was cool to see like, oh, it's like, okay, cool. Like you do a lot of like outside cool, like beachy vibe stuff. And it was cool. Then it was like, oh, we just like, our vibes and styles matched together great. And then we did like tons of social media posts and and stuff. It was super cool. So so people that don't know you and didn't interact with you on Instagram yet, give a little introduction to yourself of what you do and why do you care about staying fit and being healthy. It's a lot of people, I think, say they want to do that, but then don't take the action.
Right. Hi guys, I'm Ashley. My Instagram. I feel so lame saying.
You need to do it now. We need to do an icebreaker event to make you feel even more uncomfortable.
Right. My Instagram is Ashley Post TV, and I live in Los Angeles right now. I'm in Indiana right now, visiting my family, so I'm a little cold. I wish I was in Indiana or in LA just to get some warmth. But over there, I am an actress and I'm a yoga instructor. And I've been teaching yoga for about, I think, 3 years. But before that, I was a gymnast. So I think that really helped, and a dancer. So I didn't want to do gymnastics anymore because I didn't want to kill myself. So I ended up doing yoga and dance. And I think it was because I missed gymnastics so much, I kind of gravitated to yoga, but also I just fell in love with, I feel like we go through life and sure, we're breathing because we have to live, but it's so hard to take the time to just dedicate to yourself. And especially, I know this sounds bad, but we have to be selfish sometimes. And I feel like that is like a nasty stigma to have or something, but I think it's truly important, whether it's through a class or maybe it's just something that you're passionate about, whether it's going shopping for some girls, or just being by yourself and just meditating. I am not someone like that, unfortunately. I know that's like so bad for a yoga teacher to say, but my meditation is through movement. So yoga just helps me relax, especially as an actress. You're always like don't know what's going to happen, and you're living in uncertainty. I needed that anchor in my life. So yoga is so good. And I also work out a lot. I use weights and I run. I used to be a runner. So I think it's just also, I talked to my sister about this actually recently. And sometimes we are not the nicest people when we don't work out. But I don't think it's just what it is. And I feel like I'm a better person. I feel so cliche saying this, but I am a better person when I work out. And I think, obviously, chemicals go into your brain and all this other stuff that I won't bore with, and everybody else knows about that. But I feel like it calms my spirit. And I like looking good, and I like to know that I worked hard for what I do. Not necessarily that I need 6-pack or an 8-pack. No, not at all. But something that I can look and say, hey, I worked hard to look this way. And I really appreciate that. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, and I like especially the thing of like, yeah, because everyone knows, yeah, if working out will give certain physical results, but also like the mental thing of like, I've been finding myself lately like trying to hold myself back from like getting into like Facebook comment battles with people, because it's just like I need something. Right. And it's like, because it's like, yeah, it's like you get an adrenaline boost from like a Facebook comment, but like you can utilize that energy to go for a jog around or go for a walk around the block or something like that. And I think that's like the key thing that a lot of people are falling, myself included, are falling into the thing of like, I'm just looking for something, and you can find it in whatever you like will fall into, you can find it there. Mm-hmm. But so there's got to be some, I feel like you do things at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh. I work out at 5 o'clock in the morning. Do I text you that early?
No, but I see you post like when you do like some of your like session or like when you were doing the yoga sessions or something, they were like at 6 a.m. Yes,
they're at 6 a.m. I like early morning yoga. I think it sets your day really well. So I kind of like that. And also, low key, I like to do teaching in the morning so it doesn't interfere with people's work schedules and my schedule, especially again, as an actor. I don't want to keep talking about acting, but it's hard to, I hate people, I shouldn't say this, but it's frustrating when you have to cancel class because you have an audition, and it's not fair to the clients. So that's why I like to do it so early. They don't really like that it's so early, but I'd rather make sure, nothing's going to go on at 6 a.m. in the morning for me to say, sorry, it's canceled.
Because everyone's asleep.
Yeah, true.
I like it though. I love waking up in the morning early, but it's just so hard for me to do. It's so much easier for me to be like, to go back to sleep.
Right. Yeah, it's true.
So let's see. There's only a couple people watching, but I'm going to throw a little banner up here that will let people know that they can ask a question if they have a specific question for you about staying flexible, staying healthy, keeping movement. Mm-hmm. What do you think is the one, if you had like one or two takeaway things for like, say somebody like me who's sitting at a computer often all day, and then I'm like going setting up these live streams, and then I go fiddle on this computer, and then I'm back. I'm never like actually taking that moment to like breathe, or like breathe in that realm, or even like physically like stretch my, so like what's like one or two things that people that maybe don't want to wake up at 6 a.m. to go to a yoga class, but they could do right at home with like easy, no barrier.
Easier. Yeah, for sure. I think a walk is, that's kind of a no-brainer, but I think a walk is really nice if you're able to, since especially we're just usually at home right now, we can walk around a neighborhood. I think that's good just to get the blood flowing and everything. But maybe just take 15 minutes and just breathe it out. Maybe not have it, like you kind of said about the social media, just unplug from everything. And again, I like meditating through motion. So I think a walk is really good. But if you're talking stretches, I would say it's called a figure four, and you can do, and this stretch is amazing for people who they're in, like you said, on their computers all day and they're sitting all the time, because this figure four stretch really gets in your hamstrings. And you can just do it laying on the floor, or you can do it standing, but it's more relaxing on the floor. You can do it on your bed. I like to do it when I wake up, just to get some blood flow moving around. So I'll explain it. So you don't have to bore you with or look at me in my weird non-cleaned apartment or my room. But you cross your right ankle over your left quad, so it looks like a four almost, and then you guide your left knee into your chest. And you can do that by either grabbing the back edge of your thigh or your shin, or I like to do, which is a little added thing, you bring the left knee into your chest and then you push with your right hand your right thigh away from you. So you're also opening that hip out a little bit more, and it feels wonderful. It feels very good. And that's really good for people who have low back problems or also sit in the chair all the time. And you can do it from your chair too. That's my favorite stretch for sure.
You should have a tutorial of that on your Instagram.
Actually, I do. Not on my Instagram, but on the studio I work for. I did a video for them.
Nice. Where can we find it?
It's at DC Fitness Gym LA, I think. I think that's what it's called. I think that's their
handle. All right. Well, they can hit you up. And they can bother you when they want to know that, because your Instagram.
Oh, okay. I think they would have tagged me, right?
I don't know. Maybe. But yeah, talk about your Instagram a little bit. Here we have your Instagram on screen for people who are watching live, and you are doing you're teaching some people some stuff on your Instagram these days.
Yeah, I'm teaching on Wednesdays for free or donation at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it's not too early, Chris. It's not too early.
9 a.m. Oh, and that's really late if I'm on the East Coast.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. So I teach during that time. I am more of a power vinyasa teacher. So that just means it's a lot more flowing, and it's a lot of sweating. No, it's just a little bit of a workout. So if you guys are feeling, especially right now, I feel like it's really hard to find some workouts there's so many things that are offered, people that are offering free workouts, but sometimes it's hard to find. But I do a little bit of mix. Sometimes I'll throw some abs in there. Sometimes I'll throw some push-ups in there, but it's all about flowing for me in my class. So, and I really like to challenge people. And if you feel, I don't want you to feel discouraged, but I am more of encouraging, you can do a lot more than you think. I love it when my clients, for example, a crow, it's an inversion, and they're like, oh, I don't think I can do it. I think I can do it. And it's all in your mind. It really is all in your mind, because they just get out of their minds and they're like, okay, if I lift this leg and if I look this way, then I got it. And they get it. And they're like, I've never done that before. And it's like, yeah, because your mind is just so powerful and you could do a lot more. So that's why I kind of lean more to challenging people instead of just going through the motions and just doing the basic vinyasa. So that's my class. So I teach at 9 a.m. and on my Instagram. So
cool. Yeah, I think it's super, in whatever people are doing, I think it's a cool thing. I have done probably only a handful of official yoga classes. And I love I do some internet living room yoga things, because it's an easier thing to give up halfway through, and then I don't need to. So I use that a little bit as an excuse of why I'm like, I can't do this, and then I don't need to do it. But having that instructor there, even if it is on a live thing, I'm like, okay, I'm going to stick with this, because I don't want to just stop in the middle of it, which is pretty cool. And I think that's a cool idea of what that power of showing somebody a cool thing that they didn't know they could do, and then simplifying it down and then showing them that they did do it just in a step-by-step thing is like more powerful than working out. It's like a bigger thing than like, oh, going to do a workout. It's like changing your whole mental thing of like, oh, I saw somebody on Instagram do this thing and I would never had the confidence to try it on my own. But having a person there like guide you through it is really great.
Right. And also kind of what you're saying about it unlocks your mind, but it's just like, if you could do that on the mat, who's to say what else you can do in life? And I feel like some people sometimes separate yoga to life, but it comes hand in hand. I mean, like even I say in yoga, like our intention and trying to start our intention with this, which is an intention is a word or phrase to dedicate your practice, but just setting that for your practice, and I encourage people to bring it out through their lifestyle, throughout their day, even if they want to just do it short, just to focus on something like, hey, you accomplished this in yoga. You can do this in life. You're so capable of doing it. But we just don't challenge ourselves that way. Most people don't. So I agree.
What were some of those challenge, so like getting, as you've done you've done a lot of things that are scary, of like being in LA, is just doing that is sometimes a scary thing. Every day, like, I don't know, it could be really awesome, or this could be really like a tough day, especially being in a creative type thing where you're, and trying in going after auditions and stuff. It was just like a mentally and physically tough thing. And then going into and then teaching yoga and stuff, there's like a lot of steps that from like, hey, I want to do this. A lot of people have said, I want to do this. Hey, I want to move to LA. Hey, I want to get into acting. Hey, I want to start with by going to yoga classes. Then next step, like sharing that, teaching yoga. So there's a lot of things there's a lot of times throughout all of those processes that you could have been like, well, this is really hard and I don't want to do this anymore. But just like waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to teach a class, like there's probably some days you're like, I don't really want to do this right now. It would be a little bit more fun to stay in bed and sleep, but showing up and doing it. Just talk about that a little bit on your, how do you keep those, like, what's the tool that you have that you just keep doing the things? So it's like, I like that idea of just people, like my thing of like, just go. It's easy to say and sometimes really, really hard to do.
Right. Man, I feel like you could say a lot of things. Like, I feel like what you're saying, just go, is just even a thing just to think about, because what's the worst, and I always remember this too, like what's the worst, for example, a yoga class or even auditions in my case, sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to go to this audition for some reason, or, I don't know really why, but it's like, what's the worst that's going to happen? Or for, this is a better example. I want to reach out to this agent, or I want to possibly reach out to this producer. And it's like, I used to be very shy, and I just kept having my manager and my great support system that I have, my family, my boyfriend, they would just say, what's the worst that can happen? What, they're going to say no? What, they're not going to, maybe reach out back? But you went there. What's the best that can happen? Well, you could be hired by them. They can notice you. They can keep you in mind for other things. Or even with yoga, what's the worst that can happen? Oh, I don't like the teacher. Whatever. I got it work out, but it wasn't great. What's the best that could happen? Well, I learned something. I really like this teacher. I feel confident about myself. So it's just thinking about, that sounds bad, what's the worst could happen, but I just kind of feel that just go and try for it,
Yeah, I love that. And that sounds so simple. I think it's like hearing you go through that, if like you almost didn't want to give such a simple, you're just like, I don't know if that's right, but it's like seeing that lens of like where it sounds kind of negative of like, oh, what's the worst that could happen? But it really is like, I've done a lot of things that like feel so scary because I have attached so much pressure onto it of like, oh, this is my one shot, my one opportunity for this opportunity, or whatever it is, or like, oh, I might waste my night going to this workout class or something.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, like I probably will feel like I wasted my night if I go into it with that.
Yeah.
And then if I just say, okay, well, I don't know, what's the worst that's going to happen? I'm going to like you said, go to a class and you're not going to love it, but you're like, okay, well, I was going to watch YouTube all night instead. So
Right.
it wasn't that bad of a waste. Like that was fine.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's more powerful than what it's nothing profound, but it actually is like really practical and useful.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say your ideas weren't profound. Your ideas are all profound.
No.
I was like, your dumb idea was actually good.
No, it's not even my idea. I feel like people say that all the time and people just steal. I'm like this might sound bad too, but I was just talking to someone actually a couple days ago and they're like, you should just like steal ideas. I'm like, I do that. Like if there's a yoga teacher that I think is amazing and I'm like, oh, I love that pose. Like I need to do that. I'll add it to my practice because I know other people are going to benefit. Or especially in acting, like I see someone who did a great self-tape and I'm like, I love the way that her eyes look that way. I'm totally stealing that. That's what makes you better. So anyways, it might have not been my advice, but whoever gave me that advice, thank you. I stole it from you. So
yeah. Yeah. And that's like, I don't know. People ask me questions every day about like video or all this. And I'm like, I like, first of all, I like watched a lot of YouTube videos to know like what to do. And then I tried them and like they mostly all failed. And then I get a little better on the next one. But it's cool of like at the top where you were kind of complimenting my photography and video and like content work is like, oh, it's like still even though like I'm like in that world full time now, like making stuff, I still feel like when I get like somebody like that, I'm like, oh, I don't know, I'm just making it up. Like, I'm not a real photographer.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like I have that thing, and so many people, it's like, well, I'm like, I don't know, I literally just like do things the way that I figured out how to do them.
Right.
Which is like the only way to do anything. Like, there's no way to do it. And the people that are teaching us how to do it, like tried something and figured out a way that they do it.
Right. Well, I mean, you taught me that too when we did, me and Amy did our Coffee Meets Chicks. You told me to like look at this one person and it totally helped us to do the intro. I loved it. Now it's like it's my favorite thing to do. So not talking about the coffee, just like film the way that they filmed.
Yeah, film and B-roll of like, there's like a lot of little storytelling things that you can do to think about that stuff. That's a different rabbit hole that we
go down. No, sorry.
And you're not allowed to go to coffee shops anymore. So.
Oh no, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I'm really
now that you know how to make cool little coffee intros, you should be filming your everyday morning coffee routine.
Chris, tell me more. Wow, I like this.
See, you could do like it could be like the little opening to your yoga sessions can be like a cool little pre-recorded, you get your French press out there. What's your coffee go to? Is it French press? That's what oh God, what no. I take it all back.
I'm sorry about my parents.
You're not allowed to. We just make like a really cinematic Keurig, like you like take the cup out and it's like this and it's like doing it as if you're like doing it like in a fancy way, but then you just like put the cup in and then it just happens and you're just like, okay.
Yeah, it's so funny. That's what I'll do.
All right, there's 7 people watching, and if anyone has a question right now, we're going to wrap this up in a few, but if you have a question about, I guess we hit a lot of things. I kind of my intention coming into this was just kind of some thoughts and ideas about staying active and moving while we're sitting at home, and we kind of spun it into a little bit more of a general ideas about making things happen, which is okay.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if someone would click in and you were doing that leg crossed number 4 thing, people would be like, what the heck is happening? And if I do it,
oh, that'd be great.
I don't think I'm wearing jean shorts right now too. And I just feel like I would look completely ridiculous.
Nah, I think you look great.
I've got the ultimate like Zoom meeting outfit on right now. Like I have like a nice jacket on.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely wearing cut off jean shorts and no shoes.
Amazing.
So I will not be after the video ends. I will try the number 4. I think if I go through it, I think I've done that before and I love it. And it's just like you're right. It just like feels so great. And it just like you feel like you're actually accomplishing something, which is nice.
Right. It unlocks, especially in our hips. I mean, some people have heard this. There's a lot of emotion in our hips. That's what people have found. And so when you release that, especially when you do figure fours, or pigeon is another very common pose, or warrior 2 even, it just unlocks everything. And some people, not to scare people, but some people have cried in a pigeon because they're just holding everything in and it's so tight in our hip flexors and then even our back. And just to like breathe it out, they're like, oh man, I haven't had a moment just to breathe and be with myself and be with my thoughts. And now my hips are opening and now my soul is opening and my eyes are opening. And so it's like, that doesn't happen all the time. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid if you do a pigeon that you're going to cry. But it has happened. I've heard 3 people have said that to me before. And my both of the friends.
Cool. That's great. So
sorry, one thing. Sorry.
Are you going to do it? Are you going to show us?
What?
Oh,
what do you want me to
I
do?
thought you were going to show us this exercise.
Oh, I can. I was just going to say, if anybody has, I know it's sometimes really hard to find free, especially people who aren't working right now, and it's a little discouraging. My class is free. So if you're interested, go on my Instagram, Ashley Post TV, and you can check it out. But even if you're more of not a power, right there, a power flow yoga, or maybe you're just a little nervous, you shouldn't be any nervous. Please, if you have something that you want to work on, DM me and I'll add that to the class. I'm here for you. So, and you guys are here for me because I'm learning from you. So if there's something you want to work on, DM me, say, hey, I want to work on my back or my hips or my arms are really tight. Just tell me and I'll add it to the practice. But maybe you don't like power yoga. And I have a lot of friends who are doing either really cheap yoga or really cheap workouts even, or free. So I'll message you some links or whatever you want. So please use me as a source. I'm here to help. I would love you to be in my class, but if you don't, no offense, I will not take any offense. I'll give you other places. So anyways, I wanted to say that.
Cool. Yeah, that's great. And it's nice to have now. I think it's a cool thing now that a lot of us do have a bit more time at the current moment. I've been able to like really help people with video and like people setting up live streaming setups. And it's really nice to do it and just be like, yeah, I can hop on for a half hour and just like do a personal, like right. Last night, a buddy of mine called. He's like, I can't figure out this camera setup. So I was like, oh, let's hop on a call. And like, I solved his problem in 20 minutes and he got like as if better than me being there. Cause we could just do it right over and like see the work. So it's really cool to offer that from you to be like, oh, you can be available to do a DM on the thing, and then no one wants to ask you a question.
It's okay. I won't take any offense. Or maybe you already answered the question.
Or maybe they're too busy DMing you on your Instagram with specific. They don't want to do it publicly, so they want to ask you in private the question that they're working on.
Yeah.
So cool. What's next on stuff now that there's not really auditions? Well, it's cool because you know Julana. Well, I thought you knew Julana. My friend Julana, she was in a bunch of my stuff. I guess I always think the people, because we've done so many things that were like 4 people shoots, that I just assume that they were always the same 4 people. And then I'm a jerk. And then
not the redhead. No, that's Lisa.
No, yeah.
No, I know Ari.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, Julana. So I did a chat with Julana, who you know, Julana.
Right. Yeah.
I know. She did a so back into acting world, which is what you were not talking about. Right. She got like an audition for a commercial to film, and she like filmed it. It was like for a mobile phone thing, and then she just like filmed it at home. Right. While the director was on a Zoom call. And it was like, I think that's a really cool thing of like a really cool opportunity that there's like a lot of actors and voiceover people are like, it's shut down. I'm like, no, there's like still commercials out that people made in the past 2 weeks.
Right.
So there's a lot of really cool stuff happening, and I think that ties in not necessarily with acting in it per se, but like in the thing of like, yeah, like just keep that momentum going. And it's like a body. I've been thinking about that a lot. Like a body in motion tends to stay in motion, and that's like mentally, physically, everything about that, like whatever level you want to take that is like powerful to think about. Just like keep moving, whatever that means.
Right. It's the worst thing to do, especially right now when our society is on like standby, to ourselves be on standby or just being stagnant. It's just the worst we can do to ourselves, especially because, I mean, like you said, not to go back to social media, but it's like so easy, and it's so easy. I mean, I'm here with this, but like it's so easy to compare, especially when it's like we're already low and now we're going lower, and we just need to keep growing. Totally. We need to and creating. So to go back on my challenge, my yoga challenge, and I'll go back to acting because I have something to say about the Zoom. But I'm doing a yoga challenge just because I'm a really big advocate on making your yoga flow or your stretching your own, and do something that you're passionate about. And just, again, like we said, be creative during this time. Don't just sit and do nothing, or even like sit and do nothing is just watching TV, which I'm guilty of for sure. But it's just a chance to be creative. So I am doing this challenge that if you tag me, post either on your story or your profile, a yoga flow, which just means a combination of poses together that is your own or that you like to do. Or maybe if you're not into, I don't really like yoga flows, I just do a couple stretches, then do that. I just really encourage people to be encouraged or to be creative. That's what I enjoy. That's like the number one thing I love about yoga, is that you can be creative through movement. You don't have to be an amazing dancer to do that, because sometimes that's like, I'm not like flowy and I'm not really in control of my body, I can't do yoga. That's not true. You can. So that's why I think yoga is so great. So make it your own. Do something that you're really passionate about, which will make it funner. Funner? I don't know. More fun.
Yeah. So the challenge, and then where are those all being compiled into something, or where does that go then?
So it's going to go on Instagram and then tag me, and then whoever does a really creative flow, I'm going to give a free class via, Zoom, because of social distancing. But yeah, so just post a flow and I'll see it. I'll share it to inspire others to get creative and get moving. So really my goal is just to inspire others, and it's great to see other people doing that too. Yeah. So yeah, you'll get a free class and whatever you want. So I'm big into, even in class, if they're like, oh, I don't really know what that is, or can you help me with this? Do it. It's your class. You're paying for it. You're getting it for free. So I'm here for you. So don't go through yoga and like, oh, I can't talk to this teacher because I have to honor this state of yoga-ness, I don't know, relaxed state of mind. No, if you don't understand something, say, hey, like, or even type in for the live streams, like, hey, I don't understand that. Can you go back and talk about it again? Or I'm not really feeling it. Please tell me. I love that stuff. I love a conversation rather than just like going through motions. I like conversations. That's why I love these.
Yeah. My favorite thing was I went to a yoga class one time in LA, and it was like an advanced yoga thing that was like way beyond my like realm of what I should have been at.
Right.
Like somebody invited me and they didn't tell me that it was like an advanced class.
Oh no.
And I was just like, so like I was struggling, like, and it was obvious, to the instructor. And it was the coolest thing because he came over and like he wasn't ever like, no, like there was no like judgment. Like he came over and like put a block under my arm or something, and then just like kept walking away. And like I was like, he didn't give me instruction. He just like knew, he was aware. He's like, oh, this guy's struggling, and putting a towel under the thing here or putting a block here is going to lift his arm, and then he's just going to be able to do it. And that was like one of the things that really resonated with me so much, of like, because going into a fitness, any type of fitness, a gym can be intimidating if you don't know what you're doing and you think, oh, well, everyone else here knows what they're doing. I'm going to get judged. So I think that's like a really nice thing. Like, and in general, most yoga things are going to have that, like, oh, like you're not going to be judged by it. So, but it's still intimidating. I still don't sometimes want to go because I'm like, I don't know the things they're going to say this number 4, and I don't know what that is.
Right. Yeah, it should not be.
So point of that was, it's nice that you're opening that up to be like, no, it's encouraged. Like nobody knows what this stuff is. Somebody just kind of made it up and now we're like doing it.
Right.
So it's like open. So that's nice for people to know that they can come and be welcome.
Yes, please. I love people. I love people who are nervous because it makes me more excited. Is that bad? I don't know.
Oh, is there a comment? Here. Here, Scott says, your student group must be changing during the lockdown. How are motivations different? Scott, are you talking about the motivations of the students? So yeah, so in normal times, maybe people are like, oh, I need to stay fit for auditions or whatever people are like coming to. And maybe now they're coming at you like what my initial attention was like, yeah, now it's like, I just want somebody to like help me not feel like crap from sitting in a chair all day. So that's interesting. Are you feeling a different like blend, or maybe just for yourself of like what it means to you of like now that it's like things that are a little bit of a different.
Oh, great. He said yes. I don't really know if I can tell a difference for their motivations. I think as a teacher, usually I try to link classes each week so they grow into one certain pose. But I feel like this go around, I feel like I'm more focused on making sure every body part is stretched out. I'm good at doing that, but I feel like it's more of an emphasis of, oh, you know what? Definitely make sure everyone's sitting a lot. So we're definitely going to do some hip openers. I do hip openers all the time because that's like my favorite thing to stretch during this time, and especially just in life because I always have tight hips. So, but I put a little bit more emphasis on the joints that I know that people need to stretch a little bit more. So I don't know if it's the client's motivations that are different, but definitely I think mine a little bit.
Cool. Thank you, Scott, for the question.
Thanks, Scott. Hope you're doing good.
Scott has a baby.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. Congrats.
Yeah. Congrats, Scott. This podcast is for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Call it yoga.
Yeah. All right. Well, are there any other things you want to tie this up? You had another bit.
Yes, the Zoom for actors. I have been going. So if you guys don't know if there's any actors on here, but there's a lot of open calls. I'm sure a lot of people think there's a lot of open calls for actors right now, just because a lot of casting directors, God bless them, have been like, we're just sitting around at home. The actors, we want to have them create, which is so nice of them. So there's a lot of open calls going on. They kind of came to a little bit of close this end of the month, but I'm sure if this is going to go on longer, I'm sure there's going to be more. So just have a lookout for open calls. But I had a teacher who said, get used to Zoom. Like, either you hang out with a friend and use Zoom, because maybe these next few months auditions are just going to go through Zoom. Like just to be safe. And people are still a little bit scared, even if things open up. Auditions are going to be through Zoom, and I feel like it's really wise to to use Zoom or another platform like this to get used to, because it's so different from a self-tape and so different from a room, because you're seeing, like I'm seeing Chris right now, but it's different because I'm like, oh shoot, now I have to look at him instead of the camera or look off. It's very different. So I encourage people to do a little chit chat on Zoom or those kind of platforms, because it's going to go into that for a while until we are totally opened up.
Yeah, I've been encouraging everyone, whether they're I'm pretty heavily in the entertainer world still, and I've been kind of really encouraging entertainers or just anyone who's creating stuff to be like, now's the time. Like everyone's back in the same boat, like late night talk shows are coming out of their living room and the quality's not that great. So like now you can be like, before you looked crappier because you didn't have 200 people working on your TV show. Now like everyone has the opportunity to like be at the same level, which is a really cool thing of like, you can host a TV show from your living room and it's going to look exactly like real TV shows. Like that's never existed before.
Right. For sure.
And now it's like this leveled playing field of why I've been doing so much of it. It's a cool thing to offer that and encourage people to be like, because some people are just like, I don't know, it's not, I'm going to ride, we said it at the beginning. So people are like, I'm going to just ride this out. And I think it's really smart to, not take advantage of the situation, but like utilize it for, some people are going to come out of this really with some cool stuff going on.
For sure. Yeah.
All right. So we got that's my Facebook page.
Ooh.
You can see who I'm friends with.
Yeah.
So here's your Instagram. Look at you out in the sun. In days when you could go out in the sun. Everyone's doing like throwback Instagrams, like the good old days.
I know. I feel so. Yes, I'm very guilty of that because all my pictures are from the throwbacks.
Yeah, we'll have to dig up some Crossbeats headphone photos of you or something. See if I can find those.
That's on my commercial reel.
Oh, that video was so good. I love that video.
Yeah, I love that video too. That one and we did a lot. We did do a lot. The Salty one is on there too.
Oh, nice. That was like early days of my video making days.
So beautiful though. And then the one that you recorded my yoga, that's on my special.
Oh yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah.
At Tree People in LA.
Yeah. And then
that was so scrappy. That day was like so scrappy, but then it like came together really nice.
And then we did the whistle thing.
Camuso.
Sorry?
You had Camuso.
Yes. I could never say it. Yeah. I still have it. It's like one of my favorite. I don't have it on now, but I should have put it on. But it's one of my favorite.
Okay, they're not paying me anymore.
Or one of my favorite necklaces. But it's because it was from you, Chris.
Oh. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we did some fun stuff.
For sure.
Now we just
don't do anything.
Look at screens.
Yeah, we don't have to talk anymore.
Nope. Yeah, but you're gonna move to Atlanta soon.
I might move to Atlanta or New Mexico because there's some filming over there too.
Oh, fine.
I'm thinking about it though. I mean, yeah. I gotta get those TV creds.
Yeah. Or you could just be a yoga instructor on Instagram. That's
true. That is true.
And after this, I think you might have like I bet Scott's gonna go check it out.
Yay, Scott!
I said that for him.
Him and his baby.
Yeah. Baby yoga.
Yeah.
All right. Let's wind this down. Thank you so much for sharing some ideas and thoughts. It's really cool that you open up that access for people to hit you up and ask you specific questions. Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll do a next one when I put on some sweatpants. I'll do yoga stretches.
That would be awesome. I would love that.
Beginner does yoga on a live stream.
Yes. I love it. I love it so much.
Cool. All right. Thanks for sharing, people. We go check out the Ashley Post TV Instagram and drop either of us a question if you have them. That's it for now. Goodbye.